Hello everybody, today I'm going to be ranking every theme park that I've been to. Now if you're here, continue to ring the bell. So I haven't done a theme park video like this in a long time, probably like 5 months or something like that. And today I kind of wanted to talk about every theme park that I've been to, and I kind of wanted to rank them all because I've been to a lot of theme parks and I have a lot of thoughts on them. So yeah, let's get started. So number 12, last place, is Elitch Gardens. Holy crap. So I made a whole video on this probably like 6 months ago, and it's the worst theme park I've ever been to, like by far. Like everything about it sucked basically, except one thing, and that's Sidewinder, and I mentioned that in the Elitch Gardens video. The employees were rude, they didn't have a good vibe, and the coaster line just sucks. Like, I mean, I know it does have like Twister 2 and stuff, but that recently closed. It's just average, the coaster lineup, but there is a couple bad ones like Mind Eraser. And Mind Eraser is probably one of the worst coasters I've ever been on. It just sucks so bad. Yeah, so Elitch Gardens really sucks. Like, I hated almost everything about it. It's probably one of the fewest theme parks that I wanted to leave there, because even though it was my choice to go, it just felt so lackluster and so terrible. Like, I can see why a lot of people hate it, because it's just so boring. It doesn't have any personality. I want them to close it down personally, but I probably want them to save Sidewinder and put it somewhere better, because Sidewinder deserves better. Elitch Gardens is the worst theme park I've ever been to, like no contest. So yeah, that's number 12. Number 11 is Worlds of Fun. So I also made a video on Worlds of Fun in an entire different rant about it, because Worlds of Fun is a little bit better than Elitch Gardens, but it's not that great, because I managed to get a really bad day out of it because I went on a Saturday, and that might be part of it, because the coaster lineup is not like really terrible compared to Cedar Fair parks and other places in the US. Like, it's so like lacking of personality. And luckily, I think they are making a new coaster in there. I don't remember what it's called, but I've heard reports about that. Some of the coasters are okay, but Timberwolf was eh. I really didn't get to ride that many coasters because it was just so packed and everything was busy. I wasn't able to ride very much. But Mamba is okay. I know some people don't like it, but Mamba I think is fine. But Worlds of Fun, I just think it sucks compared to the other Cedar Fair parks. Glad that they're trying to maybe freshen it up a little bit, because it really needs it. So yeah, that's number 11. Number 10 is Six Flags St. Louis. So the thing is that like I did another video on this where I ranked all the coasters from that park worst to best. And honestly, I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is, but I still don't think it's a great park. Because I remember me and my dad went in September 2020, and no one was there on a Saturday, and to be fair, it was like right when things were opening up again and stuff, and it was a Saturday, and it was like kind of rainy a little bit, but we didn't have to wait for anything, which makes it a little bit better. The reason why it kind of has held back for me is because it has two really bad coasters, and that's the Boss and Ninja. And personally, I hate Ninja way more, but honestly, the Boss isn't much better. Like, I know a lot of people like the Boss, but I'm personally not a fan of it. Like, I just hate how rough it is. I don't get the love for the Boss. I mean, if you like the Boss, like, good for you. I'm glad that you like it, but I personally hate it. Like, I think the Boss and the Ninja are just like some of the worst coasters I've ever ridden. But luckily, it gets a little bit better because they have American Thunder, and American Thunder is one of the best wooden coasters I've ever been on. It just has so much airtime, and I love airtime on coasters. Six Flags St. Louis, the coaster lineup is not terrible. It's just the employees were kind of rude also, so that kind of holds it back a little bit. But the coaster lineup is not terrible. They have Mr. Freeze, I think they have Batman, and a lot of other ones like American Thunder. And Screaming Eagle is actually really good. Like, I don't know why people don't talk about Screaming Eagle that much, because Screaming Eagle is one of my favorite wooden coasters also. It's just so smooth for a 70s coaster. But yeah, Six Flags St. Louis, it's a little bit better than Worlds of Fun. It's not nearly as great as like other Six Flags parks. So yeah, that's number 10. Number 9 is Epcot. If you asked me 10 years ago where I would put Epcot, I would put it a lot higher. And I don't hate Epcot. I think there's some cool stuff to it. But here's the problem I have with it. It's dated. I feel like back in like the 80s and the 90s, that was kind of like what the future was like. And I feel like that's not really the case anymore, because it's just like, I know Disney's starting to attempt to update it more, and thank God, because it really needs it. The attractions I do like on here, it's Mission Space, which I know some people think that Mission Space can make them ill. I know some people have that problem, but personally I don't. I like Soarin'. Well, most of the time I like Soarin'. Sometimes, if you ask me, depending on the day, because sometimes I don't like it because the CGI has aged bad. But Soarin' is not bad. The Seas with Nemo and Friends is not terrible. It doesn't have like the worst selection of attractions ever, but it does have that terrible Journey into Imagination ride, because I think that ride just absolutely sucks compared to the previous version. That's probably one of the main drawbacks, is that it's just so dated in a lot of ways, and an Innoventions thing is just completely like not a thing anymore. That's number 9. Is just Epcot. I think it does have some decent stuff in it, but it's not as good as the other Disney parks that they have. So number 8 is Hollywood Studios. So this one is kind of weird, because this might be an opinion that I'll probably change if I go back to the Disney theme parks, probably not for a while. But hypothetically, if I did, this probably would go a lot higher. And the reason it is because the last time I went to Hollywood Studios was 10 years ago. Hollywood Studios, back then, it was probably my least favorite Disney park. Honestly, I don't know if I can really do this opinion anymore, because a lot of stuff has been put into Hollywood Studios since then, especially like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But the thing is that even though I can't really say that this is a great opinion, like Hollywood Studios doesn't really have a theme anymore. It's just basically like Star Wars Land, basically. I think if I went back to Hollywood Studios or go to Galaxy's Edge, probably my opinion would probably change a lot. I was there when the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids thing was there, and that was very dated even back then. One of the shows that I actually really liked was Lights, Motor, Action. That show was awesome, and I'm not really like a big racing guy of like cars, but that show was awesome. I wish they kind of didn't get rid of that. This is the one I'm iffy about, because it's been so long since I've been there, because when I went to Disney World on my 2019 trip, we just skipped it. But luckily it has some good rides, like Rock and Roller Coaster, Aerosmith, even though that one's going to be going down for a while for like refurbishment, which I'm glad that that one's still around, because it's just one of the best coasters in Disney World, because I think it's just so fast and so thrilling. And I really like Tower of Terror, and luckily it's still there. But yeah, so it still has some decent rides, but it's just kind of an iffy spot on here, because it's just like, I don't know if it's the same anymore with the Hollywood Studio, or like the last time I went was 10 years ago. So yeah, that's the kind of an iffy one, but Hollywood Studios is number 8. Number 7 is California Adventure. So this one's also goes a little bit far back. I went to this park in 2015 when we were in Huntington Beach, and we drove down there. There were some cool rides. Well, back then the Tower of Terror was still there, and I rode Tower of Terror, California Screamin', which I loved California Screamin'. Like, it's one of my favorite like defunct rides I've ever been on. I also like the Monsters Inc. ride too, because that was a kind of like a replacement to Superstar Limo, which sucked. Yeah, so California Adventure is not like terrible. I think it's average, but it's not like one of the best ones, but it's not one of the worst ones. So yeah, that's number 7. Number 6 is Universal Studios Orlando. So this is part of the 2 parks with Universal Studios Orlando, and one that I'll mention later. And I think this park is pretty good. It has some good ones, like Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, but I know a lot of people hate that one, and I don't hate it. I don't think it's that bad, even though it has a bunch of brake runs. I went there with a kind of like a 2-park pass, because I went there in 2017 with a lot of people, and it's crazy because even back then it's changed. But Universal Studios is not bad. I don't remember very many of the attractions, because I like the other park a lot better. But this one's actually pretty good. But the Harry Potter section is pretty good, even though I'm not a big fan of the Gringotts ride, because it's almost all screens. And I'm the type of person that I want as much physical props, or like physical animatronics as possible. Like, I'm not a big fan of the screen replacing phase that they're doing with like a lot of these rides, because it just doesn't feel authentic. Universal Orlando, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good, but it's not like as good as this one I'm gonna mention later. So yeah, that's number 6. Number 5 is Disneyland Paris. So you're probably asking, Zion, how the crap did you get to Paris? And it's weird because like it was part of a Europe trip that we did in 2019. It wasn't really planned for us to go to Disneyland Paris, but we were in Paris anyway. And Disneyland Paris was actually a big surprise. Like, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did, because it just has so many good rides, like Hyperspace Mountain, which I like it way better than the Space Mountain down in Florida. There's also some versions of the rides at Disneyland Paris I actually like better than Magic Kingdom. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland Paris is so much better than the one in Magic Kingdom. Like, not to say that the Magic Kingdom one is bad, it's just compared to the one at Disneyland Paris, the Disneyland Paris one is a lot longer. It felt longer. It felt more thrilling too. And it was just a big pleasant surprise because you could also go in the castle. The castle was a lot more interactive than the one probably at any of the other parks. But I was really surprised by this park. I really liked it. So yeah, that's number 5. Number 4 is Animal Kingdom. So this one is a little bit more recent. This was the trip in 2019. And Animal Kingdom, I liked it a lot better than I did when I was younger. Animal Kingdom is just such an amazing park. Honestly, I think it's one of the most beautiful parks that Disney has ever made. So you have Kilimanjaro Safaris, you have Expedition Everest, you have Kali River Rapids, which I like Kali River Rapids, but some people don't. But Animal Kingdom is just such a beautiful park. I really like Animal Kingdom. Like, it's all really cool. Dinosaur is also a really good ride, and I really like that one. It just, Animal Kingdom has a pretty good selection of rides that are really cool. So yeah, Animal Kingdom is number 4. Number 3 is Magic Kingdom. So Magic Kingdom is really good. I think it's my favorite out of all the Disney parks. Like, I think it has the best attraction lineup. I think it has the best themes. I just think it's the best Disney park. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. I was about to say Splash Mountain, but that one's gone now, which sucks. Enchanted Tiki Room. You have Country Bear Jamboree, Jungle Cruise. It's just a lot of good rides. Magic Kingdom, I really like. I think it's amazing. It's just the best park, in my opinion, in Disney World. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 2 is Islands of Adventure. Islands of Adventure, holy crap. Like, I did go in 2012 and 2013 when I first went, and I went to Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And holy crap, this park is so good. Like, it has so many good rides, like Harry Potter The Forbidden Journey, which, about that ride, I do like it a lot better than the Gringotts ride because it's both screens and actual animatronics, which I wish Gringotts did. Forbidden Journey is really cool. The Hulk is amazing. Like, the Hulk, I know some people say it's really rough, but I really like it. Haven't been to it since they tore down Dueling Dragons, which really sucks because I really like Dueling Dragons. And I actually did go on Dueling Dragons right before it closed down. I went in March of 2017 and it closed down in September. And I call it Dueling Dragons instead of Dragon Challenge because I just like that name better. But that was really a cool ride. Like, it's one of the best coasters anywhere, and I miss it. But it just has so many good rides. And I think Islands of Adventure, in my opinion, is way better than Universal Studios Orlando. I know a lot of people might disagree, but Islands of Adventure I just think has more of a consistent lineup. And also Jurassic Park, River Adventure is really good too. I really love Islands of Adventure. I would go back if I could. Like, it's just so good. So yeah, that's Islands of Adventure number 2. Number 1 is Silver City, my home. So the reason I put this at number 1 is because I'm so familiar with it. And I know some people might say this is not number 1 worthy. It's just so good. Like, even though the coaster lineup is not like the most quantity, it has a really good lineup of coasters. You have Powder Keg, Wildfire, Thunderation, Outlaw Run. It just has so many good coasters that even though it's kind of like a smaller amount, the consistency and the quality of those coasters are so good. I feel like sometimes people don't appreciate how good of a coaster lineup it is because every single ride I like. Solar City, I think, is probably my favorite atmosphere of any park I've ever been to. And if you can go during Christmas, please do go during Christmas. Like, Christmas it is so much different of a park when it's Christmas time. Like, we usually, as a family, try to always go during Christmas. And actually, I am getting season passes again, so I will try to make a video of Silver City eventually, even though I didn't do one last year. But I did do one in 2021, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, so Silver City is probably my favorite theme park ever because I just love it so much. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if it's a little bit of a longer video, but I just kind of wanted to rank every theme park I've ever been to. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.